Hey guys, it's A Gamer, back at it with another video, and today I'm going to be discussing a feeling that I feel like most of us experience after beating the Ender Dragon. It's just kind of a dip in how we enjoy Minecraft, rather, I don't know, disappointing almost, or just feeling left with this thought of, alright, well, what do I do now? And basically, I'm just going to cover a few things I feel like you can do to bring back a little bit of spark if you feel you've lost the want to play Minecraft. But first I'd like to say, did you know only about 11% of players legitimately make it to the end in the sense of not having cheats and whatnot? And I kind of feel like that's a rather small number. But anyways, so some things I recommend that you can do is, well, first, the Elytra, in my opinion, take a little bit of time to get, so I don't expect, or I should say, I knew going in, beating the Ender Dragon was going to bring me a lot of frustration if I immediately started looking for the Elytra. So it took me a pretty good chunk of time before I think it almost took me an hour and 20 minutes to find what's it called, like a ship, flying ship in the sky in the outer islands. But, so anyways, the first thing I recommend doing is just exploring your world. I mean, I imagine you have already somewhat, but like this is a nice little island. But you can find structures like villages and whatnot, and I mean, if you beat the game already, of course you know that. But still, see right there, immediately, there's a ship, sunken ship. I believe I checked it out many times, but there can be things like buried treasure maps and whatnot. But hold on, I need to get my compass. Do I even have it? Right here. Not home, but dang it. I think it might be in here. Nope. Alrighty. Well, that's a bummer because I accidentally left that. A compass locked my lodestone at home. But anyways. So, another thing I recommend is trying out is collecting exotic islands. Just, I feel like, not, I didn't mean to say islands. Collecting exotic items, like, let's say a creeper head, for example, or a skeleton head. That kind of, that takes a charged creeper, which is kind of tedious to get. I feel like, and on top of that, you have to get the charged creeper to blow it up, and I don't know, it'd be pretty hard not to die. Like, you'd probably need blast resistance or something. But another thing that I recommend is, so not just collecting exotic items, but also collecting exotic mobs, like um, bringing a blaze to the overworld just to put it on display. That sounds kind of tedious. I feel like there's a lot of fun in just doing that project without dying, if you know what I mean. And, dang it. Where is that compass? I don't quite know. Dang, so let's see. Well, I don't know where the compass I'm looking for is. It's probably upstairs, but anyways. It's, I feel like this kind of ties in with the first thing I said, explore. But alright, I'll just go find it without the compass. Anyways, explore your, not world, well, of course explore your world, but not necessarily just for land, but actually finding structures like a woodland mansion, or not just villages, because those are kind of common, but a, let me think, maybe, I don't know, I'm sorry, I kind of lost my track of thought, but, Ocean Monument. That's kind of a fun thing to explore. I haven't explored one yet, but I think that's the next thing I want to do in Minecraft, honestly. Next major thing with risk, you could say. You have to have water breathing, or you don't have to have it, but it's pretty difficult if you don't. And the fish creatures or whatever, the guardians, they your armor doesn't really preserve. Oh, look, there it is. The one anyway, sorry. That's literally less than, I think, 300 blocks away from my, end island. Or not end island, but the stronghold. Here it is, with that little pillar. But, I don't know, I'm just showing you guys my end. There's not really much to show. But, so as you can see, I have a rather sloppy world. Another thing I recommend is just kind of neat, like try to make your world neat. It really makes a difference just in how, I don't know, it's just satisfying to go into a world and rather than this, maybe just have some kind of structure that runs into the ground and takes me right down to the stronghold. I feel like this looks ugly, and you can say it's just me being lazy. Dang it. Shoot. Come on. Go. Alrighty. I can't even see right now. It's fine. I'll deal with it later. But, I should deal with it now. So, connecting awkward parts of your world like this with nether portals. You saw I had to travel a decent distance. I mean, that wasn't too far, but it is a nuisance to have to go that distance every time just to, especially since it's across the ocean, have to go that distance every time just to get to my end. But, yeah, just linking up portals, because the nether is an eighth of the size of the overworld, or in other words, 1 block in the nether is equal to 8 blocks in the overworld, which is a lot if you think about it. It really can speed things up if you're traveling a long distance. Dang it, I'm sorry guys, this is so annoying, all this water. So another thing I can recommend, I should stop saying another thing I can recommend because that's starting to get monotonous, but is just making interesting farms, like, I don't know, a blaze farm that's a little bit tedious to make. I feel like the fun in it is how it's dangerous just to even bother trying, or like a lot of the time it's, I don't know, just over lava. If you get knocked off, you just fall into lava. But let's see. Here we go. I killed the dragon, of course, but so look, another recommendation is respawn the Ender Dragon. I mean, if you beat him once, you can, or I should say her, if you beat her once, you can beat her again. And I'm pretty sure, I can't give you the statistic because I don't have it written down, but I'm pretty sure less than 2% of players ever respawn the Ender Dragon by crafting 4 Ender Crystals and placing them around the portal like this, I believe, which respawns the Ender Dragon. But kind of, let's see, so another recommendation is restarting your world. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean jumping into a new world, but I mean like kind of storing your supplies at your house and then going out so far, like a really far distance from your base, and just kind of act like you have jumped into a new world, except it's still in your old world. Do I have ender pearls? Damn. I don't think I do. Or if I do, oh, I do. Alrighty. I mean, I don't know why I'm going to the outer ends right now, just kind of out of boredom. But if more things you can try is like collecting potions, or not necessarily collecting, but I don't know if most people mess with them as heavily as I do. Just they can be such a benefit. I mean, let's see. I don't have night vision in here, but the end is pretty harsh. Slow falling though, like if you were to get hit up there by the ender dragon, you know, you'd take a hefty amount of damage just falling back down to the ground. But if you have slow falling, let's say even if I fell into the void, I'd still have just a few more seconds to use an ender pearl and get back up onto the island, since I'm literally falling slow. So it's not just about taking away the damage, but it's also about giving you time if you are bridging across a large area. But so trying out new things like redstone if you haven't, or like I said, maybe if you already mess with potions, just using more potions or using them more often, possibly using them against your enemy rather than just potions that heal you or something. That's, let's see, some other, incorporating golden apples into your battles. I feel like it's kind of hard for me to. Not necessarily hard, but it's just like, alright, well, when do I want to use the golden apple? And then the time never comes because I'm just always more focused on using a potion or something. But just developing skill for knowing how to use a golden apple in a battle really can make a difference. I kind of want to use my elytra right now, but I only have 6. I only have 6 fireworks. Anyways, and if none of that helps you enjoy your world again, the last thing I recommend is just taking a break from Minecraft for a little bit. Sometimes just playing it for so long, or in such, like, not taking, I don't know, playing for 4 hours straight can kind of kill the spark compared to maybe taking a break every hour in between, or just taking a long break in the sense of many days or even weeks. It can really make Minecraft lively again. And I want to loop back around to one of my biggest points, that don't measure it as beating the game. Yes, you've killed the Ender Dragon, which is technically the end of the game, but that's what causes the feeling in the first place. If you're like, oh, well, now I beat the game. I mean, again, technically you did, but I think Piglin Brutes, I haven't went to a Bastion, but I am pretty sure they are significantly harder than the Ender Dragon in their own ways. Here's the first thing I found, and it didn't even have a ship. I had to find 3 end cities just to find my elytra. Once again, it took me, I think, an hour and 20 minutes or so in total, and I had to, I took 4 breaks, or not breaks, like, I did it in 4 different sessions, over the course of 2 days. So, anyways, that's the end of today's video. If you like, please like and subscribe, and have a good day.